Today, I was posted up at this noodle stand run by Mr. Lee. Dude's been slinging Afro-Asian fusion noodles since before Nova City went full AI, back when street vendors were fighting eviction notices instead of algorithms. Now, the whole game's changed. Now it's like the streets are overlaid with a digital skin. Augmented and mixed reality tech has merged the offline and online world in a way that's different from even 10 years ago. So I'm slurping down these bomb oxtail dan noodles, watching the lunchtime rush, and it's a trip. People walking by ain't just seeing Mr. Lee's stand. Nah, they see holographic flames like the wok's about to explode. They see 3D projections of steaming bowls, practically smelling the broth. It's like the food's reaching out and grabbing them. Mr. Lee tells me it's all thanks to this AI program, Vendor Vision. He says it boosts his sales, but it ain't cheap. Gotta pay for the projections, the data analysis, the whole thing. And the AI, it's always tweaking, always trying to optimize. Sometimes it throws in random stuff, like floating fortune cookies or dancing chili peppers. Mr. Lee hates that part. But the real trip was around the corner. That's where I ran into the holographic street vendors themselves, photorealistic 3D rendered humanoids hawking 3D printed goods. The first one that caught my eye was this sleek dude, a hologram with sapphire skin and an iridescent tracksuit that shifted colors with every move. He was hovering, literally floating, in front of a poppin' kiosk, his hands throwing out sick boy freezes as he gestured at these wild sunglass designs spinning in a holographic display. I stepped up, curious, and that's when the hologram hit me with that megawatt grin. "Yo, my man, looking fresh." I chuckled because he was talking like my grandpa. His voice had that perfect mix of city grit and digital echo. "Seems like you're on the hunt for some dope eye armor." As he continued, a pair of retro-futuristic aviators materialized, doing a little spin right at my eye level. The frames? Burnished copper with graffiti-style etching that vibed with my skin tone. And the lenses? Bruh, they were next level. Deep amber fading into cool blue at the edges, like a perpetual sunset over the city skyline. "These joints ain't just for stunting," the hologram said, leaning in like we were sharing a secret cipher. His face was so crisp I could see the simulated pores, the tiny flecks in his holographic eyes. "We're talking graphene-reinforced frames that can take a beat down, lenses with nanosensors that flip the tint and polarization on their own. But peep game." He threw up a quick hand sign, and bam! My vision lit up with a holographic HUD. Local weather, my step count, even headlines from my go-to news feeds. "All this custom printed right here," he said, throwing up deuces at a sleek 3D printer bumping a low hum in the kiosk. "No waiting, no off-the-shelf whack gear. These are your shades built for your dome." I was sold. A tall, slender guy stepped out from behind the kiosk and handed me the aviators warm from the printer. As I slipped them on, the hologram gave me a two-finger peace sign. Well, I had heard that the new holographic salespeople at the Arnold Street Bazaar were odd. Like at the old-fashioned department stores, these humanoid hologram sales avatars project outfits and products tailored to each customer. Unlike them, the holographic salespeople are far more bizarre, experimental, and brazen. The holograms were constantly morphing and multiplying based on the crowd dynamics, blown up to massive sizes or shrunk down to get in people's faces. I tried waving at one vendor hologram, and it glitched out, its face contorting and body duplicating in fractalized distortions until an error message rebooted it back to its smooth default cycle. Just a raw glimpse at the AI's discontinuous essence briefly bleeding through. Man, the AI tech behind these holographic hustlers is next level, but it's also controversial. It's all about Z-Corp's Quantum Boost platform. But I know Z-Corp ain't the only platform game in town. There's String Tech and New Quant pushing cheaper setups. But Mayor Feliciano, she's connected to Z-Corp. The city's pouring subsidies their way. Meanwhile, people like Mr. Lee at the noodle stand are feeling the squeeze. String Tech's package was half the price, he told me. But without Z-Corp, city permits move like molasses. I couldn't wait. It's not just holograms either. Z-Corp's quantum juice optimizes everything on its pervasive platform, including the 3D printing machines making those dope graphene shades. The optimized AI systems herding us like quantum-calculated sheep. Nova City's Z-Corp's playground. You know, the more I chew on this quantum hustle in Nova City, the more it leaves a weird taste in my mouth. On the surface, it's mind-blowing. Z-Corp's quantum-enhanced holograms making a sales pitch feel like mind-reading. But there's a gnarly undercurrent that's been bugging me ever since that HoloHomie sold me these shades. They've modeled the whole art of human exchange with algorithms, turned it into this hyper-tuned puppet show. Every nod, every "my man" is calculated to make you cop. It's persuasion jacked up on quantum roids, and we're the lab rats to this diminishing of real human vibe. Try to go deeper with these holograms and you hit this void. It's just coded nostalgia, and once you see through it and think of all the costs, it can be a real downer.